2016 we were at 62%. Recently we were at 58, 59%. All the time above 50%. On the first round, we have never had a second round. Because the Constitution says that if you don't get more than 50% on the first round, then you go for the second round. But we have never gone for a second round. Why? Because in spite of the problems, people are more united. In 1962, no party could get more than even 40%. I was telling the MPs of the NRM at Kololo the other day how the elections of 1962 went. You can go and look at the newspapers of that time. The elections were held in April 1962. None of the parties could get more than even 40%. Why? Because they had divided people in tribes and in religious groups. Therefore, this success of the NRM is new and very, very useful, as has been shown. The economy has gone from shortages to surpluses. Yes, there are still problems, but we can solve those problems better now that we have a base than before. But because of that, some people did not want unity. They didn't want unity because unity deprives them of blind support of some groups in the population. Some of the actors would like people to support me because I'm a Mnyankore. Support me because I belong to this religion. Not because I am right or wrong, but because I belong to a certain group. Why do they want that? Because they have no good program. They have no good answer to the people's problems. So they want blind support based on identity. We are this religion, we are that religion, we are this tribe. That's what they want. Now, when we brought the new message of no, don't support people because of identity, support them because of solving your problems, then they didn't like it. So some of the groups started fighting the NRM. Lakwena, Kony, Odongolatek, ADF, UPA, Itongwa, all those groups, Kirimutu, were fighting NRM. Why? Because they didn't. This message is dangerous. The message of uniting people is dangerous for them. People must remain divided according in tribes and religion. But we defeated them. And that's why there is total peace in the whole of Uganda. Now, at that time, they were trying to use, in Swahili they call it ana kwa ana, face-to-face confrontation with us, open fighting, guerrilla, or even semi-conventional. Banyankole call it Busobwantama, to try and to try and challenge the army. You come and we fight. They were destroyed, all of them. Now, when that one was defeated Coin in the north, he went South Sudan, we followed him. Even Central Africa, he ended up in Darfur. And he will never come back here. ADF, we defeated them in Semliki Valley and in Mount Rwenzori. So, this open fight with us, they gave up. And what did they resort to? They now resorted to murders, individual murders. I have some files here. Of the people who were killed. Let me see whether I can get the actual. I remember their names. These are the recent ones, but I wanted. Now they started by killing the Muslim sheikhs. I thought I would get to the whole list here, but this is these are killings of the recent ones. But you remember those sheikhs who were killed? Many of them, about 20. Then Kagezi, the prosecutor, was killed. John Kagezi, Major Chugun was killed. Kawesi was killed. Chirumira, Abiriga. Now, those killings, when I studied the issue, I could see that they were happening, and the killers were not being arrested because of essentially two reasons. One reason was infiltration in the police. The police had been infiltrated by criminals. Criminals were in the center of the police force. Remember, that's when I used the word Kawukumi. Banana Weevil had entered the police. But also, I discovered that the police leadership had not detected the lagging behind by the police in policing technology. Because the population of Uganda has increased from 14 million in 1986 to now, I think, 42 million. More than 3 times the expansion. So you can no longer use the same only human-based techniques to deal with such a big population. So I made a speech in Parliament in 2018 where I pointed out this, and I think I gave 12 reasons, 12 ways that we are going to use to defeat this crime. Apart from cleaning the police. Police is not fully cleaned. There are still some weevils there. I hear about them, but they will be cleaned. Now, when we use the new measures, as you would have seen, we have achieved breakthroughs. in the attack on General Katumba, where they killed his daughter and the driver. The suspects have been arrested, and some were killed in the process of resisting arrest. And the ones who are not arrested are now known. We know them. And we shall get them. This was a breakthrough. And then apparently those who were involved in the suspects in the Katumba case were involved in, some of the guns were involved in earlier cases. When they come to court, you would hear what they are saying. So this was a breakthrough. We are no longer blind. The new measures and the new technologies which were deployed had paid off. Now, these criminals, not being clever, they now launched a new campaign of killings in the Masaka area. They are not necessarily the same group, but broadly speaking, on the same side. Now, immediately we mobilized our big capacity, and we were assisted by the Wananchi. And in no time, quite a number of suspects have been arrested. And we have, the police has got very good evidence on many of them. So, whatever they try to do, we defeat it. The killing of the NRM chairman in Toroko, immediately the suspects were arrested. They are now already produced before court. I think they are remanded. Many of them are on remand. This is a very big success. So therefore I'm here to assure Ugandans that this crime wave will be defeated. Why? Partly because of the support of the people, but also because of the partially improved technology of the security forces. And we are still moving. We are still moving. We are going to add more capacity. The cattle rustlers in Karamoja, I went there. There was a lot of outcry. But when I analyzed it, that situation is very easy to deal with. It's not such a difficult situation at all. And the retractions we have taken have already sent a message to everybody in Karamoja. Now, the remaining problem is some of the judicial officers really, and the police, two problems. Some of the judicial officers doing things which have no connection with the reality. I don't want to use very strong words, but what they do seems to have no connection with reality. In the case of Masaka, so many people have died. I think there were 20 or 30. And suspects are given the bail. And we are told that bail is a right. Bail of criminals is a right. How about the rights of the victims? what do you say about the rights of the victims? The victims have no rights. Then the other problem by the police are police bonds. So this now brings me to the Bible. As we talk about first of all, the criminals in the criminals first. The book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 6. For the criminals, the ones who have been killing people. The list I have here is the list of the ones of massacre. It's a long list. Now it says in Matthew, do not give what is holy to the dogs, nor cast your pearls before swine, pigs, lest they trample them under their feet and turn and tear you in pieces. So you normally hear me talking of pigs. Now I'm not the one who said that. It is Jesus. It is here. Chapter 7, verse 6. These people who have been killing people are pigs. How can you kill people? Just ordinary people, old people, 8 years, women, children. That's for the killers now. Killers. Jesus talks about them in Matthew chapter 7, verse 6. Now, then some of the other officials, police and other officials, there is a portion in the Book of Common Prayer. This is Church of Uganda. It is called General Confession. Apparently it was written in 1662. We have erred and strayed from the ways like lost sheep. We have followed too much the devices and the desires of our own hearts. We have offended against the holy laws. We have left undone those things which we ought to have done, and we have done those things which we ought not to have done. And there is no health in us. This is some of the officials. People have been killed. Instead of defending them, you are defending the criminals. More time for the criminals than for the victims. For the suspected criminals. Under our law, you are presumed to be innocent until you are proven guilty. But there is a suspect for a very serious offense. Yes, you look at his rights, but also the rights of the victim. The victim is dead. He's not there to ask for bail or to ask for this. He's dead. The victim is dead. And you spend more time on all your attention is on the suspect, nothing for the victim. No, this is not correct. We cannot accept this. We do not fight so that our people are killed with impunity. And the system is more on the side of the suspects than on the side of the victims. Then now we come to the politicians. I saw the other day some politicians walked out of parliament. They are walking out because somebody has not got bail. Oh, but Jesus talked about those. Jesus talked about almost everybody. In Matthew chapter 7, verse 15, it says, "Beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravenous wolves. You will know them by their fruits." Mulibategerera ku bibala byabwe. Do men gather grapes from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? If so, even so, every good tree bears good fruit, but a bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, nor can a bad tree bear good fruit. Every tree that does not bear the good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. Therefore, by their fruits you will know them. So, these political people who who say nothing about the victims, nothing. All the attention is on the suspects. So, we shall know you. We shall know them by their fruits, by what they do, by their actions. If I was one of the suspects, or even there were members of my political party, and you are accused of such serious crime, for me, what I would press for is to work expeditiously to prove either myself, if it is myself, or my colleague, if he is a member of my party, to prove him innocent. I would not be say, "Temukwatako, don't touch him." No, I would say, no. Let him or her have a quick trial so that the innocence comes out. That's what an honest person, in my opinion, should be doing. But instead, it is covered up. People are not policemen, rush to the scene of crime. Don't rush to the scene of crime. You're going to interfere with the scene of crime. I think some people are trying to find out how much the police know. And they were actually asking, "Show us the evidence." Can you imagine? You're asking the police to show you a politician, you want to see the evidence which the police has. That is attempt to interfere with the investigations. Now you come to use parliament here to interfere with the process. Because one of the arguments against bail is that, first of all, it annoys Uganda. People get annoyed because for them they may not even know the difference between bail and being released. Bamutadde has been released. So the public get annoyed. This person is suspected to have killed my brother. Now he's walking here. That's how we have got cases of mob justice. Loss of faith in the judicial system. But also, materially, they can interfere with the investigations. So, if the suspects are innocent, their supporters or those connected with them should be saying, quick trial. If the trial delayed, yes, you would say, they have stayed too long. That's why the system provides for 180 days if somebody has not been tried. Then there is a problem. But people some of the people don't want the investigations to be concluded. So if you are innocent, demand a quick trial. Don't demand impunity. Don't demand untouchability. Demand expeditious trial. Then you hear some people say, how can members of parliament be arrested? What if they commit a crime? Do they have a right to kill our people with impunity? No. So, I want to assure Ugandans that we shall not be deflected by all these schemes. We shall ensure full accountability. Even the people who died during the riots, those 54, the riots of last year, which were promoted by these indisciplined groups, I long ago gave orders to ensure that there is thorough investigations. The initial investigations I got during that time were that 32 of the 54 people who were killed were rioting and attacking people, but 22 had been hit by stray bullets. And you remember when I made my speech in Mbale, I said stray bullet is not clear. A stray bullet means you are firing at something, then it bypasses the one it is aimed at and goes and catches another person. But who were the original target? I have now renewed my demand that that whole report should be audited and concluded. So therefore, on both the side of the government and on the side of the criminals, the NRM insists on full accountability and responsibility. We are now discussing with the stakeholders about all these issues. I started a discussion with the NRM caucus. I saw one of the papers, Monitor, the famous Monitor, the one which works for the enemies of Uganda, saying how they were not in the meeting. How did they know what took place? That shows you how very low caliber these people are. Misrepresenting what you didn't see. But whatever maneuvers, nobody would deflect us from ensuring that there is full accountability. So all the stakeholders are discussing this issue of bail. We should discuss it and get a solution. It will not be used as a cover to protect criminals, no. Secondly, we are discussing the issue of lenient sentences. Somebody has killed a person, life imprisonment. Life imprisonment. But the person you killed is not in prison. He's in the grave. So for you want to remain in that hotel called prison for life? Why? Why don't you ensure equality in actions? You killed, you must be killed. If you are to, so that one would not accept this life imprisonment. It is life for life, tooth for a tooth, unless you are forgiven for some reason. And as I said during the judge's time, the tribes always insisted on full accountability. But you can have, the tribes could have a pacific solution, but no impunity, no impunity. So therefore, we are continuing to discuss this. Nobody will stop us. People are crying all over the place. I was seeing a paper here today. There was something about the chairman somewhere crying for get it for me, Omona, the chairman of somewhere in Kabarole, in this paper here, was crying about police bond. Get it for me. If it's somewhere, you go page by page. The chairman in somewhere was crying about police bond. Now, you get a lot of stories about delays in court and all that. Yes. How can you be in Jerusalem and you don't know what's happening there? The delays were part of the collapse which the state of Uganda went through because of the mistakes. By the time we came into government in 1986, everything was down. No money, the tax revenue in 1986 was only 5 billion shillings. I would like the UBC people to print out for the readers and also in the newspapers the tax collection year by year. Why would anybody be talking about inadequate this, inadequate that, as if you don't know how it all started? We are very happy that we have moved the way we have moved. So why would anybody talk as if he doesn't know how problems in Uganda came about? But we in UPDF, we have been able to defend Uganda in spite of the gaps here and there in the resources we use. How do we defend Uganda? Haven't you seen our soldiers staying in Mama Ingia Pori houses, grass-thatched houses? Can somebody staying in a grass-thatched house shoot you and you die? Or not? We have shown that you can do your duty even when you don't have all the facilities. Even in the question of justice, you can prioritize. These cases are not the same. Murder is not the same as assault, as other things. So you can prioritize, and you say with murder, we give it priority. We don't have enough resources to handle all cases at a go, but let's prioritize murder. Why? Because murder is irreversible. Somebody has been killed, you can't bring him back. Other problems, I can be in prison for a long time, I will come out. I was so many times in prison in Tanzania. There is no Tanzanian prison I did not go to. Bukoba 2 times, Mwanza, Tabora, Dar es Salaam Central Police Station, Ukonga Maximum Security Prison. There is no way I didn't go in prison in Tanzania. Don't you see me here? Didn't I get out and do some useful work? Even exile alone was like a prison, 8 years, so much things. But we came out. Exile was like prison. Being in the Royal Triangle, cut off. We didn't know what was happening to our families, to our. So there's nothing you can compare with the dying. Dying is irreversible, or other issues, problems are reversible. So therefore, this argument of delayed days cannot apply to murder. The court system can prioritize murder, and the murder cases are not so many. If you take the whole country, they are not the majority of the cases of the backlog. So the question of murder can be addressed in spite of. Now, this is the problem of Kabarore. Livestock thieves. This is on page of today, page 12 of New Vision. On the bottom there. livestock thieves that are mainly targeting cows have invaded Kawarere district. The thieves mainly attacked the sub-counties of Harugongo, Chitwamba, Kazingo, and Hachibari. The affected areas are all adjacent to the Toro Semriki Game Reserve in Toroko district. Godfrey Musumba, the Harugongo sub-county chairperson, said more than 20 cows were stolen last month. Musumba said the thieves that are terrorizing the area are using the game reserve as their hideout. They suspect that the livestock thieves could be exporting whatever they steal to the Democratic Republic of Congo. The thieves have for long terrorized this place. They use the footpath within the Toro Semriki Game Reserve to gain access to Ntoroko. On Tuesday night, angry residents of Nyantaboma village in Harugongo arrested and killed 2 suspected cattle thieves before burning their bodies to ashes. That is now justice. The duo, whose identities remain unknown, was allegedly arrested with 4 cows stolen from Harugongo. Residents said the duo were wearing multiple clothes. Nyataboma village LC1 chairperson Hape Katorogo said some pastures have migrated from the area due to increasing insecurity. We are living in fear because of the thieves who have invaded our area. Every night we receive reports of stolen livestock. The theft of livestock has, according to Katorogo, affected the supply of milk in the area. Some pastures have relocated to other areas due to the continuous theft of livestock. It is unfortunate that whereas the community is working hard to get rid of poverty, they are pulled back by acts of insecurity. So this will undermine these programs we have, Operation Wealth Creation, the parish model. Chitwamba chairperson Jack Magezi accused the police of releasing suspected cattle thieves on bond without producing them before courts of law. One of the people said it is unfortunate that these 2 were killed before they shared any information with security. We suspect the Toro Semriki Game Reserve is harboring criminals and so on. So this is not a joke. Now here people here are crying, and some 2 people were killed. Oh, how can we have a system like this? So therefore, for the police, I will not accept the issue of bond for police, by police. In cases like this, you give bond. I'm going to discuss with the Attorney General to see how to stop this nonsense from the police side. On the side of bail, we are going to discuss with all the stakeholders, the NRM caucus people, the Wananchi in the countryside, and the judiciary to see how we stop bail being misused by using it to cover criminals. On the issue of the resources for the courts, we have put more money. They have been having a budget of 190 billion. We have now pushed it to about almost 400 billion now, and we are targeting 800 billion. And when we get there, we shall have more network of courts in the whole country. This one we have agreed with the Chief Justice, and the judiciary in general. That's what I wanted to mention on the issue of bail. Then I would like to conclude by talking a little bit about the funny people I see on commenting, writing. The other day I gave a speech on the issue of human rights. I was explaining, really explaining our doctrine on the human rights. Then I saw people saying that I was doing it because of donors. People are really sick. I am doing things because of donors. Now, here, I have the NRA Code of Conduct, NRA Code of Conduct. I will publish it in the papers for those who are interested. This was adopted at Kanyanda, at the Kanyanda Conference of 1981. 82 December. And the NRA code says, dealing with the public, never abuse, insult, shout at, or beat any member of the public. Never take anything in the form of money or property from any member of the public, not even somebody's sweet bananas or sugar canes, on the ground that it is mere sugar cane without paying for the same. Pay promptly for anything you take in cash. Never kill any member of the public or any captured prisoners, as the guns should only be reserved for armed enemies or opponents, armed opponents. Return anything you borrow from the public. Offer help to the members of the public who may be in the territory of your unit. Offer medical treatment to members of the public who may be in the territory of your unit. Never develop illegitimate relationship with any woman, because there are no women as such waiting for passing soldiers, yet many women are wives or daughters of somebody somewhere. Any illegitimate relationship is bound to harm our good relations with the public. There should be no consumption of alcohol until the end of the war. Drunken soldiers are bound to misuse the guns which are given to them for the defense of the people, and so on. So this one was adopted in 1981. Where were the donors? Which donors were we trying to impress? These are structures of the courts and so on. So therefore, what I said the other day was to educate the public, and internally I had already shared those documents which I put out with some elements of the armed forces, and we shall continue to discuss them. So you can deceive yourselves by claiming all sorts of things. But what I told you is our doctrine. That's what we believe. It is not for show. It is not to impress donors or anybody. It is for our own beliefs and our own doctrine and our own modus operandi. I thank you and I wish you good luck.
Kuishi kwa amani.